The actual job of the director in 99% of all movies is minimal. It's the only really easy job around.
I don't particularly care for the shooting process. I like to get into the editing as soon as possible.
But you like improvising with actors?
Yeah.
That's part of the shooting process?
Yeah, it's part of the enjoyment of the shooting process because otherwise it gets rather boring. To come in the morning and do exactly what you had planned.
One of the things I admire about a great work is that even if it's flawed, that the director is completely in control of it. And it is he directs the film or tells the story with a great deal of authority.
The terrible thing about movies, movies, is that there's so damn much tension in the fact that you have to commit a part of the final product to film every day. And you can't have a bad day. If you do, it costs untold thousands of dollars. And in certain times, you just can't retake it.
I worked with many people, with Thalberg, with Harry Cohen, Jack Warner. We just did what we thought was the best, and I talked with Frank Capra the other day. We talked about Harry Cohen. People have said things about him that we both decided we thought he was just great. He let us alone. We made movies the way we thought they should be made. And actually, we don't know how to tell a story somebody else's way. We only know how to tell it our way.
I suppose if I have any virtue at all, it's that I'm decisive and I decide things very quick. And I'm flexible, but yet I'm decisive. I think decision-making process is a habit-forming thing, and you have to have that habit, or directing can become an extremely frustrating experience.
Do you regret, how often do you regret the decisions that you make?
You can't have regrets. You can't think in terms of regrets. You have to go on with what you've done and believe in it at the time. You believe in it at the time, you believe in it now. If you look back, the project doesn't work for one reason or another, then it's a regretful experience all the way around, but you can't be that way. You don't, if you start having regrets, then you'll have trouble making decisions on the next time out. You can't do that.
I enjoy scaring people a lot. I enjoy suspense and action and thrills. And I enjoy comedy. I guess mainly the genres of films. I'm big on form and structure, and within a certain context doing certain things. The film I'm making now, Halloween, hopefully is a horror film, loaded with scares, suspense scares, hopefully not grisly or gory, but suspenseful, making people on the edge of their seats. I enjoy doing that.
When you work with stars, you have to make love to them. When you work with actors, you have to make love. It's the business of the director, is to be carry on a continual courtship with the people he sticks in front of the lens. And when you deal with stars, real stars, you have to really make love,
Invasion and panic seem to be your stock in trade.
Yeah. I don't know if it's invasion and panic.
Well, duel.
Controlled fear.
Jaws.
Sort of.
Do you feel the fear, or do you like instilling it on other people?
No, I feel the fear. If I didn't feel the fear, I wouldn't be able to broadcast it. I definitely feel the fear, and it's part of what's fun about making movies about a paranoid person, like the Dennis Weaver character in Duel, or even the Brody character in Jaws, or even a picture like this, about a man who's obsessed with finding out the truth, is that I'm really able to sort of exercise the fear that I had in me, and for 2 or 3 moments while I'm watching dailies, I feel terrific.
Do you really mean that when you go into a picture, you have no idea exactly how it's going to end?
I know how it's going to end, but I don't know how it's going to come out. I'm not so interested in the narrative structure. I think of them more as an essay as opposed to story. I think eventually film will get itself more separated from literature and from theater. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that's where it started, and it's still very closely connected with theater and words. I would hope that, or I believe that film will eventually become strictly an emotional contact between the audience and the film. and that you would leave a cinema and not be able to articulate the experience, but just to say that was good. And if an audience sits there and does not meet it halfway, there's no film.
I've always made the films out of my own, where it comes from my heart, and I've done it for the people. I believe in the concept of movies as a democratic element, that people will come if you touch their heart and their soul, not if you touch a critic's mind. But when you look at a movie, what you're looking at essentially, I think, is a director's thought process. And when the film becomes tedious, it's because the director's thought process is becoming tedious. So it's the director's responsibility to sort of stay interesting, I suppose. And the only way you stay interesting is to stay interested in the world around you. Otherwise, you start to die. You know, though he not busy being born is busy dying.
Hollywood is Hollywood. There's nothing you can say about it that isn't true, good or bad. And if you get into it, you have no right to be bitter. You're the one who sat down and joined the game.